So today, we're diving into a wild story out of Ghana. It's a story that kicks off as a huge win for technology and good governance. But, well, it ends up as one of the most unbelievable financial scandals the country has ever seen. Okay, so picture this. It's February 2022. Ghana's National Service Authority, we'll just call it the NSA, is getting major praise from the very top. Why? Because they'd launched this shiny new digital system that was supposed to be a game changer for fighting corruption. And the NSA's bosses were not shy about it. They were bragging that their new app, which had all this cool facial recognition tech, had saved the country a massive 112 million CDs. And that was just in 1 year. So how'd they do it? Well, their big claim was that they'd blocked over 14,000 ghost fraudsters. Fake people who were never supposed to be on the government payroll in the first place. Sounds like a huge win, right? Yeah, about that. This is where the story takes a serious nosedive. Because when a few journalists started to look a little closer, they began to wonder about something pretty unsettling. What if this amazing new system was actually just a cover for an even bigger scam? And this is where it all starts to unravel. A team of investigative journalists over at The Fourth Estate got a feeling that these incredible numbers just seemed off. They decided to do some digging, suspecting the official story wasn't the whole story. And boom, right away, they hit a giant red flag. The number of people the NSA was telling the public about was way, way higher than the number they were reporting internally to Ghana's parliament. I mean, an expert even said a gap that big should be basically impossible. This was the first thread they pulled. And once they pulled that thread, let's just say the whole thing came apart. What they found wasn't a high-tech fraud-fighting machine. It was what you can only call a full-blown ghost factory. And this is where the story goes from suspicious to just absurd. Remember, this is the National Youth Service, but they found people on the payroll like a 93-year-old who was listed as a recent grad, or a 91-year-old supposedly sent to a primary school. It just made no sense at all. Oh, but it gets so much weirder. The investigators found 226 different men, all on the payroll in the same year, who were all named Abubakar Fuseni. And get this? They were all supposedly from the same university with the exact same degree. So you're probably wondering, what about that high-tech verification system, the one using the super secure Ghana card? Turns out it was basically a joke. The system was being totally bypassed with fake school IDs, fake fire service IDs, and in one case, something you just have to see to believe. And this, right here, shows you just how bold this whole scheme was. The ID photo they used for a 72-year-old ghost worker was literally just a stock photo they grabbed off the internet. It was a picture of some random HR manager from Kenya. The system designed to stop fraud was being beaten by a simple Google image search. So, with this mountain of damning evidence, you'd think the NSA would be scrambling to explain themselves, right? Nope. Instead, they ran to a court and tried to kill the story before it ever saw the light of day. The journalists asked for an interview. The NSA dodged and weaved. Then, just a day before the story was supposed to go live, the agency got a court to block it. But it didn't last. A high court judge saw right through it, threw the case out, and called it exactly what it was, an attempt to silence journalists. The truth was finally coming. And once that story was out in the open, the dominoes started to fall fast. The reporting sparked a major investigation by Ghana's National Intelligence Bureau, and pretty soon, the people at the very top of the NSA were facing some extremely serious criminal charges. First up, the Deputy Executive Director, Gifty Oweri-Mensah. She was hit with charges of stealing more than 38 million CDs through what prosecutors say was a pretty clever scheme she was running from inside the agency. So here's how they say she did it. First, she allegedly padded the system with thousands of these ghost names. Then, she used their non-existent future paychecks as collateral to get a huge loan from a bank. And the final step? She allegedly funneled over 31 million CDs from that loan straight into her own private company. As wild as that is, the allegations against her boss, the Director General Osai Asabe Antwi, were for an amount that's just mind-blowing. We're talking over 600 million CDs. Let's just try to wrap our heads around the 14 charges he's facing. The biggest one you see here is causing a financial loss of over 500 million cedis by okaying payments to more than 60,000 ghost workers. Then there's another 100 million for unauthorized withdrawals. And on top of it all, charges for personally laundering over 8 million cedis right into his own account. You know, when you just step back and look at the whole mess, the irony is just staggering. This big digitalization project was sold to the public as this incredible tool to build trust and fight corruption. But instead, it was allegedly turned into the perfect weapon to commit fraud on a scale that's hard to even imagine. And that leaves us with this one really tough question. This wasn't just a system failure. The system was allegedly taken over by the very people who were supposed to be guarding it. So the real problem isn't just about fixing some software. It's how on earth do you begin to rebuild public trust when the watchmen themselves have become the thieves?